I'm really excited and happy to be in front of all of you and talk about my dad, because I loved him. But beyond that, I really liked him. Just as a person, as a friend, I just really liked him. And there's lots I want to tell you about him. So I've devised a strategy to get through this without crying. I think this is cutting edge. I think this will revolutionize funeral speaking everywhere. I've isolated the phrases that normally make people cry, and I've written them out so I don't have to say them, but I can communicate them to you. And we cleaned out my dad's apartment the past few days, and he had lots of interesting things, and one thing was this ridiculously small roll of tape, so I'm going to use this. Okay, I'm not going to use that. No wonder it was his apartment, not used. Okay. Need an assistant. Okay, before I start, I have a request as a bereaved daughter. If anyone, obviously, anyone who knows my dad knows that he just liked to yell out whatever he wanted, whatever he wanted, wherever he wanted. So if anyone just wants to yell out during my speech, and I think I can speak for the rest of the family if someone has an urge to just, give it. Thank you. It would mean a lot to us. It would just warm our hearts. So the first thing I want to say, the first thing that struck me when he passed was that I missed him. It's not as if we had been living close together. For 2 years, we had been living apart. But one thing that was so constant with my dad is that he was always available to me and for me. And so just the realization that, Dad, I can't call him, because he would always make time for me. So that hit me first, because for as long as I can remember, just even when I was young, he was at every event I had, every school event, every sports event. Sometimes he was a little bit too present at events. And he was just always, if I needed to live somewhere, if we wanted to drop me off, pick me up, pick up my friends, drop them off. And one thing I loved about my dad is that he was interested in my friends, so interested. He would always make them feel welcome. Never, he was never put out, never impatient with me for, making him wait somewhere or drive somewhere. The most I would ever get out of my dad was a sheesh or a hokey doodle there, but then he would, smile it off. But it really meant a lot to me that he loved my friends. If I would, mention, I'm going to see Laura. Oh, Laura, which one's that? Dad, I went to high school with her. She's tall. She's strong. Oh, yeah, Laura. How's she doing? Bless her heart, sweetheart, or something. And so as I became older, I became friends with my father. We were living in different parts of Montreal, and like I said, he would always, if I wanted to see him, he would make it happen. He didn't always have a car. I didn't always have a car. We would meet at public transit at some bus or metro station. I would see him bound up the stairs, come out the doors, and be like, Dad. And he would always make me smile to see him. And I just loved hanging out with him. Like, he was my date for many a Friday. We would go, breakfast was our thing, and we would have breakfast all over town. He often had been there before, so he would know the servers, and if we didn't know the servers, he would get to know the servers. We would do dollar movies at DeCary Cinema. They're probably more than $1 now. I never was quite sure whether that guy loved my dad or hated my dad. He would always talk to this guy, and I don't know, Dad, I don't know. And one of the first things that my dad always did when we were together, first thing he would do was, "This is my daughter, Dara." He would always introduce me, and I just took it for granted. He was so proud of me, and I would just always know that when I was with him. I would feel good about myself when I was with him. This isn't working. My strategy isn't working. I need more cards. I need more magic markers. And the thing is, introducing me was just the tip of the iceberg with my dad. He would find a reason to talk to people, talk to strangers all the time. He would start by introducing me, and then he was always looking for a reason to engage with people. And a lot of the time this would, he was just alert, and he would notice people, and he would notice what they were doing, or what they were saying. If he could get an in, if he had an in, he would jump right in there with a comment. And it kind of put everyone who was always with him on edge. Oh, and I forgot to say, yeah. So when I would see my dad and we would, meet up to do something, it would be like, the adventure would begin of being in public with Ross Bracewell. What is he going to say? Where is he going to say it? Who is he going to say it to? And how is it going to come off? But I think I learned something really important from my dad, and that is, if you're going to err, social interaction is tricky. None of us are social creatures, but if you're going to err on the side of crossing boundaries and bursting people's bubbles, because people are complex. You never know what they want, and sometimes they don't even know what they want. They don't know if they want to talk to or. So my dad never spent any time second guessing. He just talked to them. And I think I would rather make that mistake than not talk to people. I think people were made, for communion and to, even if it's a terrible, and we've had some of those, but we don't see the good that comes of it. We see the terrible things, but the terrible things are etched in our memories. And I'm going to bring one up. Because I can't remember the good things. I remember a very terrible one, and all of you will remember it.